A very good afternoon to you. Welcome back to SRL here for round 7 of season 5 of the GT3 Championship. You join us here in qualifying with 9 minutes remaining. Although I seem to be having some issues here since I am a spectator, but for some reason I am not showing up as one. So just bear with me here. You can definitely see that I am listed as a spectator on the left of the picture there. So let's figure this out together. There's still 8 minutes to go in qualifying. Here we can see the timetables. Currently Dion Staal leading the way with a 1:25.9. So let's see how we can actually get rid of our car. Anyway, we can actually access the replay to see what happened in the start of this session. But for some reason I can't get the live feed to be displayed on my stream. Here you can see the 69 Ferrari of Sanodulis and the 42 McLaren there of the Season 5 GT3 champion Tim Wentink. So let's get this all figured out before qualifying ends. So, of course, still 8 minutes remaining. So yeah, I think there's a bit of a glitch here. So 4 drivers so far with a lap time. And I think I might have to rejoin the session here real quick to see if we can get it figured out with the spectating issue. Good to see you in live chat as well, Jensen. Well, yeah, okay. Do I need to press drive? Thanks for trying to help me out here. Because when I press drive, I'm actually in the car, even though I am actually assigned as a spectator in the lobby itself. Oh wait, oh now I can actually spectate everyone. Okay, wait, yeah. So I was on board with Tim Wentink, wasn't I? Yeah, okay, makes sense. Thanks for helping me out. Because I am supposed to be driving and I thought I somehow joined the session as a driver. Hi, Whip of Film, thanks for tuning into the live chat as well. Okay, let's see what we're dealing with here. Let's head out on track. Tim Wentink currently still in the pit lane. He's yet to set a time. And here we've got Robin Hersdagen in the very nice Audi R8 with a maroon red Fanatec livery. Sam Brandt here still in the pit lane in the Lamborghini. And here is Dion Staal, the other Ferrari. Let's see what the audio is like. I think I can maybe up the audio a little bit, can't I? Because I think it's relatively low. Let's go to 80% for now. I think only the audio is very loud whenever we go on board. As Dion Staal here goes into the corkscrew. But yeah, sorry for the hectic start of the stream there. I was kind of unsure about how I was supposed to actually spectate the session. It's been a while since I've been on ACC, so apologies for that. But we're good now with 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. At least we've got it figured out in time for the race. So yeah, Dion Staal here in the very nice Ferrari 296 GT3 coming through the final corner. Currently already the quickest man out on the track. With a 24.642. Let's see if I can improve on that here. On board here with the Dutch driver. We really want to avoid the curves around this track. Especially the Swiss curves on the inside. He is very much consistent with his previous lap time, and he actually loses it there on the entry. Seems like the back end really stepped out there, and Dion Staal was not able to catch it. in the corner there before the corkscrew is having some troubles to get out of the gravel trap there. Luckily, there's no other car coming his way. So yeah, Dion Style lost it there into turn 6. Now onto the rail straight into the corkscrew. There we can see Theodoros Samanidis as well. Oh, we had a bit of a moment there, bouncing through the bottom of the corkscrew there. This very iconic corner here in Laguna Seca. This is the rainy curve. And then into turn 10 and 11 on this very short track. Dion's going to head back into the pit lane. As is Theodoros Samanidis. We can see the quick driver with the number 13 on the Aston Martin. Scott Sandover in the Lexus. So Scott Sandover now up into second place in the Lexus RCF here. Whoever Sin up into P2. With the very distinctive green rims. There we can see Senna is now also out on the track. Senna Herweijer leaving the pit lane here. In the BMW M4 GT3. Number 28. In these black and red colors. Tim Wenting, your new Season 5 SRL GT3 World Champion, currently still inside the pits. So, let's follow Sander Dulles here, currently down in 6th place. You can hear the lock up there into the final corner. Dulles from 6th to 2nd with a 125.4. So very decent lap time there for Sander Dulles. Puts himself on the professional front row. I can probably up my audio all the way to 100%, can't I? I think it's not loud enough. 80%. We need to hear the cars properly. So, is anyone gonna challenge the pole time of Dion Staal? He's currently going through the corkscrew here. Into turn 11. It looks like Dion is actually aborted this lap. So he's not going to improve on his own lap time. But will anyone else improve on it? Actually, I think Dion Staal is about to start his last lap now. He just crossed the line with 14 seconds remaining. So let's see if he can actually sharpen that 24.6. Go on board here with Dion Staal. Out of turn 4 and now into 5. This left-hander. You You can also see his electronic settings there, 5 on the DC, 1 on the ABS, which 5.2%. Brake bias and engine lapping 1. Into turn 6 there, onto the rail straight. And then into the corkscrew, first gear. Drops down the hill, lots of compression there. Then into turn 9 here, the rainy curve. Nice late apex there. Pulling it back to the left. Into turn 10. Oh, he hit the curve too much there, you can see what it does. He was 3/10 up. But he's not anymore, that lost him 3/10 pretty much out of the final corner. He does have a really good exit out of turn 11, and it's gonna be a 1 minute 23.4 for Dion Staal. Correction, 1 minute 24.3. And also Senna Herweijer crashed out of the session, so he's not gonna improve. He's back into the pit lane. So we missed that while we were on board with Dion Staal. So here is your final standings for qualifying. Dion Staal on pole position. I believe that's his first pole position of the season. Just 88 thousandths of a second in front of Sandro Dulis in the other Ferrari. So we've got a Ferrari front row lockout here in Laguna Seca. Scott Sandover in the Lexus completes the top 3 in front of Valdera Samanidis in the Aston Martin Vantage V8. Senna Herweijer in the BMW M4 and P5 instead of ahead of Robin Herzhagen in the Audi R8. And then it's Tim Wenting, your Season 5 champion, in front of Sam Brandt in the Lamborghini. So Tim Wenting, the only McLaren out on the track. Also Sam Brandt in the only Lamborghini. We've got a lot of brands that are only being represented by a single driver. That was the word I was looking for. So Ferrari really the only ones who were strong here at the front of the field. But pretty cool to see those two Ferrari 296 cars here on the front row. As we wait for the session to start. For the final round of the SRL GT3 Championship, round 7 of Season 5 here at the Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. 30 seconds still to start. Dion Staal on pole position then in front of his Ferrari teammate Sandro Dulis. They are so closely connected with Ferrari. Of course, they've also been Ferrari teammates in the F1 Championship ever since the inaugural season back on F1 2014. So they've been teammates for 10 years,
10
these
seconds.
two. As we start with the warm-up lap. Actually, let's get my audio levels right. I think I can up the audio even more in my internal settings here. So let's see if I can quickly do that, because I think we can probably, yeah, we can up the audio a little bit more. So I think I've upped the audio a bit more so we can hear the beautiful sound of these GT3 cars. Let's see how this goes. I think it's gonna be very loud whenever we hop on board. We're forever since Scott Sandover in those black and green letters. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what Tim Wenting can do from 7th place on the grid. Dion Staal here waving on the straight to warm up his tires. Just trying to figure out how we can go through the cameras here. Look at that Dion style helmet with the Italian flag. It looks really nice indeed. So this is the rainy corner just after the corkscrew. All the drivers are slowing up, going double file. For this rolling start here. It's double file, 50 kilometers an hour for the start procedure here in GT3. It's the final round of the SRL GT3 Championship here on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Dion Staal from pole position with the other Ferrari of Sandro Dulis next to him here on the front row. For the last time this season, the lights change. Good start from Dion Staal there from the inside of that pole position. It's still a Ferrari 1-2 heading into turn 1. Senna Herweijer in the BMW M4 has made up a position on Scott Sandover there into turn 1 there. Takes over P3 from the Lexus driver. He's also lost out now to P4 as Theodorus Samanides jumps up into the top 4 as Dion Staal still leads the way as we come through the first couple of corners here. So a good start there from Senna Herweijer in the BMW, but still the order is unchanged between the top 2. Number 19 ahead of number 69 here. How often have we seen that in the F1 Championship as well? Those two Ferraris being closely together. Dion with a bit of a wide light there, coming through turn 6. That's now going to give the opportunity to Sandro Dulis here to have a look up the inside as they go underneath the bridge. Sandro Dulis now just thinks better of it, sticks behind for now. Over the Rachel straight here, now into the corkscrew for the first time. This very nice aerial shot, you can just see the elevation change here as we drop down the hill. All the drivers negotiating the corkscrew. Theodorus Samanides here up into P3. The Aston Martin Vantage V8, bit of a slide there on the exit of the rainy corner. He's going to have a look to the outside of Senna Herweijer, trying to do a cutover move. He's going to be on the outside here now, coming into turn 11. Herweijer tries to defend the inside line. Samanides to the outside, he gets shoved off wide, and this is going to give the run to Scott Sandover now onto the start finish line. Look at this, nearly 4 wide as we start with lap 2. Tim Wenting in there as well, the Season 5 GT3 champion. In the McLaren 720S is going to go to the inside here. Scott Sandover now back through on Senna Herweijer, and Tim Wenting also takes advantage. He gets the run on Senna Herweijer up into 4th place. And this is all just allowing the two Ferraris there to escape at the front. Tim Wenting now gets the move done on Theodorus Samanides for 3rd position. So the number 42 up to P3. Oh, he gets a bit of a touch there. Runs into the sand on the outside of turn 4. He's going to have the inside now as a defending line. But look at that. Scott Sandover to the outside. Gets back into P3. This is really helping out the two Ferraris at the front. They're now just able to escape. They're able to work together. We know how quick Tim Wenting is in that McLaren, but he's being held up here. To the corkscrew for the 2nd time. Tim Wenting, former F1 champion, and now the current GT3 champion. Just happened to be the 5th season in both occasions. So Tim Wenting, a double Season 5 champion you could say. Season 5 F1 and Season 5 GT3 is going to go to the inside here into turn 11. Tim Wenting now finally up into 3rd position, but look at that, Scott Sandover with the switchback line is going to have the better momentum onto the start finish straight, but it looks like Tim Wenting this time has done enough. Sorry, I meant Theodorus Samanides, of course. I accidentally said Scott Sandover. He is still in 5th position. So Tim Wenting now finally with a bit of clean air. Now can he close down that gap to the two Ferraris at the front? Oh, Scott Sandover at the moment there. A mistake coming out of turn 2. Scott Sandover around, drops back down to P8. Oh, Senna Herweijer had an issue as well. They might have actually collided. No, it looks like that it's actually in the corner after that. That's turn 4, isn't it? Yeah. So possibly 2 separate incidents for Senna Herweijer and Scott Sandover. Tim Wenting still in P3. Here we can see the 2 leaders. Sandro Dulis followed by Dion Staal. Now Tim Wenting has definitely closed up to the duo at the front. Still a long way to go, 55 minutes remaining. Robin Herstagen here at the back. He is now ahead of Sander Herwijer, Scott Sandover in the Audi R8 with the number 8. And here is Sam Brandt in the white and pink Lamborghini Huracan. He is chasing Theodorus Samanides here for 4th position. So back in the front, Sander Dulis with the 69 Ferrari 296 still leads the way. We've got a nice group of 3 at the front here. A bit of a mistake for Sander Dulis. We can now see the top 3 in the same picture. Dion Staal now really being put under pressure by Tim Wentink. So Dion now really struggling to stick with his Ferrari teammate. He did have the pole position, so it seems like his 1 lap pace was really good, but now just struggling to hold on ever so slightly. Love that shot there coming through the corkscrew. Tim Wentink now really closing up to the back of the Ferrari. He had a bit of a look to the outside there. Bit of sand being kicked up the might have been for Sander Dulis running wide. Look at that Tim Wentink now to the outside on the start finish straight. The first corner does go to the left, so you would say that Dion Staal has got the preferred line here into the braking zone. Through the kink and then into the braking zone. Look at that, Dion Staal really getting his elbows out to keep that McLaren behind him. He's got to do the work also to help out his teammate at the front, because we know Tim Wentink has got the pace, but so far couldn't find the way through on Dion Staal. On board here with your Season 5 GT3 champion. Looking back at the Ferrari 296 of Dion Staal. Looking ahead, as you say, we're not looking back, certainly not there. Say 5.1 second gap now behind Tim Wentink, so he doesn't look at his mirrors. Good exit there coming through, turn 4. Again, Dion trying to defend the inside line. Again, Wentink go to the outside. No, he thinks better, but it's really only a 1-lane corner career. Now getting a good run here out of turn 6, onto the rail straight and into the corkscrew. Look at that downhill up the hill, and then braking down the hill here into this iconic corner. Left, and then plunging down to the right. The car gets really light there for a minute. Then left again here for the rainy curve. Briefly down to 2nd gear, and now into turn 10. Keeping the 3rd, avoiding the apex there nicely, avoiding the curbstones rather. And then into the final corner, back down to 1st gear. And winding it up to the start finish straight again for the 4-5 minutes race. Laguna Seca is quite a tight and twisty circuit. It's going to be hard for Tim Wentink to find a way through, because it is very hard to overtake. But look at that, Dion Staal once again threatening the inside. Tim Wentink tried to have a look on the outside, but that's not going to work through there. Again, gets a good run there, coming through turn 5. But Dion Staal is really making his Ferrari 296 very wide. Good run again from Wentink coming out over the rail straight, but still not close enough. Oh, bit of a twitch there for Dion Staal coming out of turn 9. He nearly lost the car there, but somehow still keeps it ahead of Wentink. And this is all just helping out Sander Dulis at the front. So yeah, both these drivers are in the top 2, still yet to win their first race of the season here in GT3. Oh, a bit of a wide line there for Dion Stahl. Is he gonna invite Tim Venting? No, not yet. He does have a look. Sticks back for now. And meanwhile, Senadrulis has opened the gap to 5.9 seconds. Also, Senadrulis chasing his first win here on ACC. So far we've seen Matthijs Turk, Max Mulder and Joma de Marco winning races. They've been the only 3 race winners this season. And Tim Venting, I'm sure he's going to be a little bit annoyed right now because he just can't find a way through on that Ferrari in front of him. Even though it seems like he's definitely got the pace. Bit of a look to the outside, he's going to go for the crossover move. This time he's got his car alongside Dion Stahl as you go into turn 6. Oh, Dion Stahl trying to hold, but is being pushed up to the green AstroTurf. Oh, Dion nearly out of shape, but now finally Tim Venting gets the job done into second place. However, the gap is already 7 seconds to Senadrulis. So Dion has really helped out his teammate here. A little bit wide there, so yeah, only Max Mulder, Matthijs Turk and Joma de Marco have won races this year. So Tim Venting, even though he's actually won the championship, hasn't actually won a race. So he's been very consistent as the Dutchman. Apologies for the voice crack there. But it's going to be intriguing to see how quickly he can close down that 6-second gap. He's not going to close it down quickly if he does mistakes like this. Very deep into turn 1, all the way into the gravel. That's going to lose him couple of seconds, and just what keeps it ahead of. No, he doesn't. Dion Stahl again gets the position back, so Tim Venting has got to do all the work all over again. Robin Herstagen here in 7th place. Sam Brandt up into 4th position. He's defending from Theodoros Samanidis, and here is your race leader Senadrulis, and he's really checking out at the front. He's just focusing on his own lines, being consistent. Letting Tim Venting and Dion Stahl do their thing behind him. Bit of a moment there. Keeps it nice and tidy. Yeah, we can't even see the 2 chasing cars in the same picture, as Dulis now opens up lap 9 of this race with 47 minutes remaining. Here is the other Ferrari of Dion Stahl, still in 2nd place. Tim Venting is going to go for the undercut. Tim Venting now into the pit lane. He's going to get some fresh boots underneath that McLaren 720S. So he couldn't get the run on the track. Well, he did briefly, but then made a mistake. He's now going to just get rid of those tires and try again, and possibly perform the undercut on Stahl as he exits the pit lane here in 6th place, just ahead of Robin Herstagen. So this is going to be crucial now for Tim Venting. Now on the fresh tires. So that promotes Robin Herstagen up into 7th. Still behind Tim Venting, but of course he benefited from the incident with Senna Herweijer and Scott Sandifer. Sandover now already back at the 5th place, so he's doing well to recover. Sam Brent now up to P3 in the Lamborghini Huracan. Also with the number 3. Let's see how long these drivers will actually extend their stints. And also whether the Ferraris will react to Tim Benting's undercut. So it seems like these are your closest cars on track at the moment. Sam Brand being followed by Theodorus Samanidis. So yeah, Sam Brand, he's had a decent season here in this 5th season in GT3 and the 1st season on Assetto Corsa Competizione. He finished in 8th place in the opening round in Kailami. Followed by a 4th place at the Nürburgring. He did have a very average result in the 2.4 hours of Bathurst, finished in 8th place there. And then another 8th place in Spa-Francorchamps, followed by another 8th place in Japan in Suzuka. So he's been pretty consistent, but a lot higher now, running all the way up to P3. And correct me on what I said earlier, look at the wrong sheet. Of course, the race winners this year have been Max Mulder, Jerome Adamaco, Tim Benting, and also Tim Benting won again in the last round in Suzuka, after which he clinched the championship. So 3 different race winners this season, with Max Mulder, Jerome Adamaco and Tim Benting. And Benting really had a strong second half of the season by winning 3 races in a row at the Nürburgring, Spa-Francorchamps and Suzuka. And some misfortunes for Jerome Adamaco meant that Tim Benting ultimately clinched the championship here. It just had to be in season 5 of GT3. So back to your race leader here, Sandro Dulis. All of these drivers still yet to make their first pit stop. Only Tim Benting and Senna Herweijer have already switched tires and got their mandatory pit stop out of the way. So yeah, also a really solid season here for Sandro Dulis. Finished in P6 in the opening round in Kailami, followed up by a 4th place in Bathurst, and then a podium at the Nürburgring, which he made 2 podiums in a row when he also finished in P3 in the 2.4 hours of Spa, and then in P3 again in the 1 hour of Suzuka. So 3 podiums in a row for Dulis, and he is looking to make that 4 in a row, even ending with a victory. That would be the perfect end to the season for the number 69 here in the red and yellow Ferrari. Six and a half seconds still in front of his teammate Dion Staal. Robin with a bit of a awkward line there coming through the corkscrew. Back to your Season 5 champion, Tim Wentink. Oh, look at that, Tim Wentink has gone around. And he's pivoted round to a full 360. So well done for keeping it out of the gravel pretty much and actually not losing that much time. Also not no damage to the McLaren of Tim Wentink. But that definitely lost him, well, let's say 4 or 5 seconds, I'd say. But yeah, at least it actually pivoted round to a full 360, so he didn't even lose that much time. He didn't have to turn the car around. But that really does show and prove that Tim Wentink is definitely pushing to make up the deficit that he lost to the two Ferraris. Right, so Tim Wentink is the Season 5 champion. He's got 49 points to his name, 3 wins and a second. Drum Adamaco in second place, but he is not present today, so he will most likely lose second place in the championship to Sandro Dulis. And Dion Staal is in P4 with 29 points, so he will also likely overtake Jerome. So that would mean that we will have Sandro Dulis and Dion Staal in second and third in the championship. That would be a really good result for them. Max Mulder down in 5th place, ahead of Sam Brent in 6th. Then it's Jeremy Pope and Matthijs Sturk in P8. He had a lot of misfortunes, did Matthijs. All the way down in 8th place, even though he's a very fast driver. He did have a couple of pole positions this year. Just couldn't finish it off in the races. Ruben Herstagen is P9, ahead of David Russo. Senna Herweijer P11, currently 7th in the race. Borbune in 12th. Scott Sandifer down in P13, so he can definitely gain a lot of positions if he finishes inside the points today. He's currently in P8. Louis Quillen in 14th. Even Theodoros Samanides, P15. He's currently 4th in the race. He's only got 3 points to his name, so he can also gain a lot in the championship standings. That is Niek van Gelder, myself in 16th position. Just ahead of Jan van Meel, both with 2 points. Giancarlo Souza in P18, Hardy Collins in P19, and Jamie Jägerström in P20. The last 3 drivers without a points finish. So this is now the battle for P6. Ruben Herstagen and Senna Herweijer. Half a second separating them. Although I've just noticed they're not on the same lap as each other. So that is all irrelevant. Sam Brent now still in P3. Sandro Dulis still leads the way by 13 seconds now over Dion Staal. Still running really long into the race. So, would Tim Wentink be able to make it to the end, having stopped so early on, or is he going to go for a 2-stop? I mean, I guess all the drivers are going for a 1-stop in a 1-hour race, but Dion would definitely have to take a lot more fuel with him, and I think his tires are going to be pretty short at the end. So Dulis will come up to a bit of lap traffic here. Something there with the Greek-German driver with that distinctive black and orange helmet. That's the audio radar of Ruben Herstagen in front of him. Let's hope that he will stay out of the way. lap 17. Still within a second of his PB, so he's being pretty consistent here as Dulis. We can see that Laguna Seca design, like he's always used in the F1 seasons as well over the years, and in karting as well. Laguna is definitely his color scheme. Sometimes broken up with a subtle light blue Greek flag. Final corner and then winding it up to the start finish straight again to open lap 18. End of lap 18, start of lap 19 now. All the width of the track. Bit of a slide there as well, coming out of turn 6. And then into the corkscrew, dropping down the hill. To the rainy curve. See the rub has been built up on the track now. The track is definitely rubbered in now. Behind him, 17 seconds to be on style, so we can definitely not see him from this angle. There is the on style, just crossing the start finish line now. Really love that helmet design. The red base with the Italian flag. We always say the old style, of course he is 100% Dutch. However, he does have a bit of an Italian heart. And he certainly is displaying that on his helmet design. Very fitting when driving a Ferrari, that's for sure. Style chasing his second podium finish of the season. He also got on the podium back in round 2 at Mount Panorama. Behind that race winner Giovanni Marco. As we nearly reach the halfway mark, with 31 minutes remaining. There's tire pulls out of the way nicely. This is Theodoris Samanidis. Oh, look at that. Tim Venting is really close up to the back of the Aston Martin. Venting has a look to the inside. Oh, that is tight, but Selma's just about to close the door on him. Tim Venting a bit wide there, dipping a wheel into the gravel. Looking back at Senna Dulis, but I want to see the battle for Tim Venting. What has happened to... Wait, what has happened to Theodoris Samanidis? It looked like he disconnected. Or something like that. That is a shame. That now gives free way to Tim Venting. I was surprised by the fact that we just got to Senna Dulis there. As we reach the halfway mark in this race now. Yeah, what has happened to Selmas? It looks like he just completely vanished. So probably a disconnect most likely. That is a shame because he was doing so well. Yeah, that is very unfortunate for the Greek driver. Well, okay, so Tim Venting up to 3rd place. What is the gap? 49 seconds. But of course, the 2 Ferraris haven't pitted yet. Oh, Senna Herbeyer, he lost it down the exit of turn 10. Oh, I'm glad he didn't take Senna with him. That's also a way to get out of the way. At least he was very far up the track. Yeah, Selma's there in the garage. So it seems like he is retired from the session. So Dion Starr, the number 19 in 2nd place. Audi R8 of Robin Harrisdagen comes into the pit lane. Senna Herbeyer up to 6th place now. He is still then ahead of Scott Sandover. So Herbeyer has had a pretty difficult weekend here in the BMW M4. A pretty severe crash in qualifying, which we didn't see. Now running in 6th place here in the number 28 BMW. Tim Venting now up into P3. Now what will the gap be once the 2 Ferraris go into the pit lane? The 2 Ferraris have pitted. So what is this gonna mean? Where are they gonna come out on track? Relative to the number 42 in the McLaren 720S. Both Dion Staal and Senna Dulis into the pit lane. There we can see them on the left here, and Tim Venting has jumped Senna Dulis. So Tim Venting now back into 2nd place. However, Senna Dulis is gonna be on much fresher tires for the remaining 26 minutes in this race. So Dulis opting to go first. Dion Staal still out on those worn tires. So Tim Venting's got 6.5 seconds to play with. Dulis now down to 3rd on a new set of tires. Dion Staal still in the lead. He's probably gonna pit then on this lap. So they've gone more than halfway here in the first stint. And Dion Staal still actually extending Still staying out. Is he gonna play the team game here? Is he gonna let Tim Venting catch up to him and maybe try and hold him up? He would have to stretch it up really long if he wants to try and do that. I could see the Ferraris trying to do that though. It would be an interesting team strategy. I mean, of course, it is completely legal to try and do that. We've seen it in the F1 Championship deciders, even this year in Abu Dhabi. So let's see how that will pan out. So will Dylan Stahl actually head into the pit lane on this lap? Or is he going to really try and extend it and wait for Tim Venting to close up? Yeah, Dylan Stahl still staying out. I think he might actually wait for Tim Venting to close up to him here. Because Dylan Stahl is the only driver yet to pit. What's going on here then? A bit of a desync issue there, it seems. Tim Venting, he's not really closing down that gap really quickly. It's still 7.5 seconds, so he's got the overspeed, but he is not closing in at a fast rate of knots. He's just edging into that lead ever so slightly. Back with your race leader here, Dylan Stahl. Yep, now down to 5 seconds, so I think he's still gonna stay out. As long as he's got the fuel to do so, I think he's gonna stay out. Look at that, Dylan Stahl and Tim Venting now in the same picture. Still at 26.2 last time out, so it's not even that far off the pace despite being on very old tires. Now it's under 5 seconds now between the two. We can just about see them in the same shot. Tim Venting, they're just about a corner behind him. Into the corkscrew now for the 26th time. Down to 4 seconds and Dylan Stahl still staying out. I think he's gonna try and do what I already suspected. He is stretching it out on those old tires and he's gonna try and maybe cause some issues to Tim Venting here to help out his Ferrari teammate Sandro Dulis. There we can see Dylan Stahl just about through the window on the side here of Dylan Stahl. What a shot that was. Onboard there with Dylan Stahl looking back at Tim Venting here on this Ferrari 296 GT3. Ferrari versus McLaren, and Tim Bentley is really close down that gap now on those racer tires. 2.4 seconds separating them. Into the corkscrew, dropping down the hill. We can just see that McLaren 720S getting closer and closer. One and a half seconds coming through turn 11 here. Exiting out of the final corner to start lap 29. Now back to under a second. He is well and truly closed up now. He's flashing his lights, but I don't think the Neil Star is going to move over on him. So this is your battle for the lead here in Laguna Seca between Dion Staal and Tim Wenting. Although Dion Staal still yet to pit, he's on very old tires. Tim Wenting is going to be in a rush to get through on him here. He's going to completely block the apex there to turn 10. Tim Wenting onto the center, nearly loses the car. Dion is now really going to get his elbows out. This is why he has stayed out for this long. He's going to try and cause some issues here for Tim Wenting. Sander Dulis in P3, 12 seconds behind this battle at the front here. So start at lap 30 in this race. Still 18 minutes remaining. No way through still for Tim Wenting here coming through turn 1. Look at that, Dion Staal is really parking it on the apex. He's going to try and defend it here again into turn 4. Dion Staal is really doing well to defend from this McLaren. He's on such an old set of tires, but he's still maintaining the leading position here in that Ferrari 296. On board there with Dion Staal, looking back at Tim Wenting. Again, Wenting having a peek to the inside, but there's no way through turn 5, onto the rail straight. Out of turn 6, and now into the corkscrew. Again, not really overtaking opportunity, a bit of a tight line for Dion Staal. Tim trying to take a different line there. He's going to try the outside, but that's not going to work. Oh, look at that. Tim is over to the gravel. Tim Wenting has made a mistake. He's been baited to a mistake by Dion Staal. And he has now lost some ground to Dion, and crucially also losing time to Sander Dulis. Wow, this is exactly what Dion Staal had to do. And Dion still, after 45 minutes of driving on a very old set of tires, still maintaining the lead and almost baiting Wenting into a mistake. Dion is doing some really good work for Ferrari here. And Tim Wenting is going to have his work cut out to close down the 2-second gap again. Wow. Very good defensive driving from Dion Staal there. And the gap now only 10 seconds to Sander Dulis. On board here with Tim Wenting heading into the corkscrew for the 31st time. Of course, with the tyre advantage, he was able to close down that gap to Dion Staal again relatively easily. I'm surprised Dion Staal also still has the fuel to actually be able to continue on for this long. Still stays out. Dion Staal again closed up here in the braking zone. Nearly pushing that Ferrari 296 through the final corner. Is he gonna try and go to the inside here? Dion Staal covers it off. He's gonna keep it tight. Through the kick of turn 1, they're braking down here into turn 2. Dion Staal with a defensive line into the corner and keeps it very neat and tidy there on the exit. Doesn't run wide. He is making his Ferrari as wide as possible. Again through turn 4 there. Good run for Tim Menting, but again Dion is going to completely close the door. Look at him just hugging the inside. That's going to lose him. Oh wow. Dion Staal, he was about to run out, just got it back. He is completely backing up Tim Menting here. This is losing him so much time. But Dion Staal doing an amazing job there to defend the leading position on those short tires. 31-volt tires underneath the Ferrari. Menting now to the outside, he's going to turn to the inside here, but he's going to be close enough. Dion still just about cuts across the nose. But something has happened to Senna do this to get them now back up to 20 seconds it seems like. That is a great shame. I think Senna do this might have made a mistake. Because the gap was under 10 seconds at one point. But still Tim Menting, he is not able to find a way past on Dion Staal. He's going to try it again to the outside here into turn 5. Dion Staal with the defensive line still keeps the inside covered. Look at that, it's unbelievable the way Dion is defending this. On board again with the McLaren 720S for Tim Menting. Still your fight for the race lead, although of course Dion Staal is out of sync, he is still yet to pit. He is trying to get Tim Menting into another mistake. I think that's the only thing should prevent Tim Menting from winning this race. Tim Menting here to the outside again has a look, but Dion Staal again covers the inside. There's no way through if you can't have the inside here, unless you can keep it on the outside, which will turn to the inside to turn 2. Here it is, right-hander, turn 3 even. So of course the king in turn 1 is turn 1, and the first brake zone is turn 2. Again, Dion Staal completely blocking the inside into turn 4 and 5. Tim Menting will think a lot about this, but he certainly won't like it. Again there on the dirty side of the track on the outside there of turn 9. On to the start finish straight yet again. On board again with Dion Staal in the Ferrari 296 GT3, looking back at the McLaren 720S. In this battle between the two Dutchmen here at the front, 19 against 42. Tim Hendrik, he could not be closer. Coming through turn 4, now into 5. Dion again taking that defensive line. Tim Hendrik just trying to hold it to the outside, but he's just not able to do so. But look at this, now he's going to prioritize the exit, he's going to look to the inside, but again, just can't break late enough. Dion still holds it on the outside. In the run up the hill here, over the rail straight, now into the corkscrew. You can almost just sense that Tim Hendrik is starting to get a little bit impatient here. He knows he's quicker, he knows he's got the tyre advantage, but Dion just completely blocked him off every single time. Look at that, Tim Hendrik now to the outside. Dion is going to try and defend it in the inside here of the final corner, although Tim Hendrik's going to have the better exit. Oh, Dion is choked there at the brake zone. Tim Hendrik now finally gets the run and takes over the lead here with 9 minutes remaining. I think this is all that Dion can do. His tires are completely shot. He's going to have to come to the pit lane now. He has done everything he could. Unfortunately, Sander Dulis has made a mistake because the gap is now back down to 15 seconds. Even though it was on the 10 seconds before. I think this is now the race for Tim Hendrik to lose. Maybe I can figure out what has happened to Tim Hendrik. Correction, what has happened to Sander Dulis. Because yeah, the gap was about 9 seconds at one point. Yeah, so with 16 minutes remaining, Dulis did have a moment. But let's see if we can bring it up on the replay here. He's gonna wait until Dion Staal actually goes in the pit lane. Dion Staal still carrying on. Unbelievable. Okay, let's go into the replay here. Let's see, what are we looking at? Yeah, so this is the number 69 of Dulis. We have to go very far into the race. Is this the race time? 29 minutes. Okay, what are we looking at? I would love to see the time that is remaining, actually. Where can I see the information of the lap? I want to know the lap or the minutes. Is there any way I can see that? I don't have a little... Oh yeah, there we can see. Okay, sorry, I completely missed it. Lap 30. So this is where it happened. Okay, so let's see. So Sander Dulis here running in third position. He was chasing Dion Staal and Tim Hendrik, who were both fighting it out with each other. Wait, this was lap 30, right? Oh, look at that. He run a little bit wide there. Is this... No, this is not going to be... Where did it happen? Because it was definitely second one. Was it maybe the lap before? It was maybe lap 30 for the leaders. I'm not sure. It should have been lap 30, I think, where he made the mistake. No, it was lap 31, of course, because he was on the 30 completed laps. Alright, so... Okay, let's see from the helicopter shot here. A mistake which has potentially cost Sander Dulis the chance of winning. He just ran a little bit wide there. Yeah, that's where it happens. onto the gravel with 4 wheels and then slamming into the wall. Probably some damage from that as well. Yeah, really costly mistake for Sandro Dulis. Let's have a look at that again. Here we can see it from another angle. It's an easy mistake to make, just running wide, probably getting on the power, and there was no saving it. Yeah, quite some substantial damage there to the Ferrari. One final look before we'll get back to the live action on board here with the number 69. Yeah, I'm really sad about the fact that Sandro Dulis made this mistake, because it could have been really interesting. I think he could have really closed up the Tim Venting with the help of his teammate Dion Staal. Let's get back into the live action. Dion Staal now has finally entered the pit lane with 5 minutes remaining, and he rejoins the track in P3. And Dulis is still 15 seconds behind your race leader, Tim Venting. I mean, I think it would have been a very challenging task for Sandro Dulis to try and win that race, but that mistake really just was the final nail in the coffin, wasn't it? But yeah, Tim Venting, he is really dominating this race today. He also has the fastest lap to his name, 23.4 and 23.7 last time around, so the Dutchman is being very consistent. And he is proving why he is your reigning Season 5 GT3 champion here. In this inaugural season on ACC. The inaugural season of GT3 was back in 2020 on Project Cars 2, where I myself actually won the championship in the Audi R8. The second season was won by Jensen Rando in the Mercedes. And in 22 also Max Mulder won his GT3 championship in the Audi. And now Tim Venting can add his name to that list here on this first season on ACC in the McLaren. He can now call himself the Season 5 F1 World Champion and the Season 5 GT3 World Champion in SRL. And he's gonna add another victory to his tally once more. This rapidly extending palmarès that Tim Venting is building up here in SRL. And he's in great form, isn't he? He's in second place in the F1 Championship, chasing Jerome for the lead of the series and leading the way here. He has defeated Jerome in the GT3 Championship this year at least. But yeah, he is really on top of his game, performing very, very well indeed. Tim Venting has really shown some very impressive things over the last couple of years, especially in the F1 Championship, but even here on ACC he has shown that it's not only in F1 where he is quick, he can also handle a GT3 car quite well. 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. This will be the final lap here in Laguna Seca. So Tim Wenting here coming through the second half of the last lap. Into turn 6, over the rail straight for the final time. And then into the corkscrew. One of the most iconic corners in the world, you could say. Plunging down the hill and then through the rainy curve. The timer will run out before he crosses the line, so this will be the last lap of this 1 hour race here in Laguna Seca. So after 42 laps here at the Master Raceway Laguna Seca, it's the number 42 coming out on top. The checkered flag beckons for the Season 5 World Champion, Tim Wenting, with 4 victories in a row. Closes it out here in the final round of the season with yet another victory. Well done to Tim Wenting. What a season and what a drive today here in Laguna Seca. Senna Dooley's here coming through the final corner. He's going to pick up 2nd place, which is going to be his 3rd podium of the season as well. His 3rd podium in a row even. 2nd place here for the number 69 of Senna Dooley's as he crosses the line. Correction, this is his 4th podium in succession. So a really nice season for Senna Dooley's. Also secures 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship. Dylan Staal here coming home in P3 for his 2nd podium of the season. So a very nice drive for Dylan Staal. He did so well to try and defend from Tim Wenting, but in the end nobody was able to stop Wenting winning this race. So Dylan Staal finishes out the year with a podium finish. And that actually secures Dion P3 in the championship. So both the Ferraris here making donuts, celebrating the end of the season. 2nd and 3rd for Team Ferrari, Senna Dooley's and Dylan Staal. Really solid season for them. Sam Brandt has crossed line in 4th place. Robin Ersdagen was his first top 5 of the season, ahead of Senna Herweyer. Dolores Samanidis in 7th, Scott Sandover in 8th. And that is it. That's a wrap for Season 5 in SRL GT3. So yeah, a really strong end to the season for Dooley's. P3 in Suzuka, P3 in Spa, and P3 at the Nürburgring. So his 4th podium in succession. 3 top 3s and a 2nd. So a really strong drive here at the end of the season for Senna Dooley's, securing 2nd place, runner-up here in SRL GT3 Season 5. So I think Dooley's is going to be very pleased about his season. As will Dylan Staal. P3 is a really solid achievement for him. Let's see if we can maybe get the top 3 drivers up here in the booth for the final interview of the year. This has been also the final SRL race of the year here in 2025. Because the first event after this will be the Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort on the 3rd of January. So the final race of 2025 in SRL has been won by Tim Wenting. Let's see if we can get some drivers up here in the booth. So yeah, there you can see the final results. In the end, it was 30 seconds from Tim Wenting back to Senadoulis. So I think even without the crash, it would have been very difficult. Although I think Senadoulis was nursing some damage at the end there. So yeah, who knows what would have happened if it wasn't for that mistake coming out of turn 4. Yeah, it was certainly quite an interesting race. We had some uneventful periods throughout that race, but overall I actually really enjoyed it. We had the really exciting first couple of laps, and then also of course the moment when we realized that Dylan Stahl was staying out and trying to back up Tim Wenting. That was actually very, very interesting. It's just a shame that Senadoulis wasn't close enough to really benefit from that, and you know, the fact that he made that mistake, we probably would have looked at a different end to the race if it wasn't for that. But we've got Dion Stahl here joining us here in the booth. Dion, a very solid race from you here at the end of the season. Really solid season for you as well. 2 podiums, and you've also secured P3 in the standings. And also, you did so well to try and defend from Tim Wenting almost all tires when you were trying to stay out for so long. You really stretched out long, and I think you did really well to actually hold back Tim for as long as you did. But just talk us through your race and talk us through your season and how the race went from your perspective.
And hopefully get a win in the bag in the final race of the season. We hope to get a constructors, and then I wanted to get at least a win for Ferrari in the final race of the season. I tried my best to hold him up as long as possible. I was happy to get him to do an early stop, and then afterwards it was just trying to stretch my tires to the end and hope to defend the best I could. I had probably the best fight of the year with him, which was I was really happy with. We may not have gotten the win, but I'm happy that Sander and I finally got a P2 and P3, which is like the second time we are ever on the podium together, but also that we finally got our first Constructors podium after all those years. That title, yeah, I can't say how happy I am with that. And that's just with all that hard work after such a long time that we finally got it.
Yeah, that's really great there, because indeed you've been teammates for 10 years, of course. Nearly exactly 10 years, I believe, of course, because the inaugural season started back in January of 2016, wasn't it? So it's really unique how long you've been teammates and how distinctive you are and how like inseparable you and Senna are from the Ferrari team, both in F1 and GT3. But yeah, indeed, you finished second and third in the race here, and of course also second and third in the Drivers' Championship, and that means that Ferrari is the Constructors' Champion here in the SRL GT3 Championship. So that's indeed a really impressive achievement, and it's great to see the partnership between you guys finally actually coming through fruition and ending up in a championship win here in the GT3 Championship. So yeah, really solid season, and yeah, I really want to give my kudos for the way you defended it. It was very exciting to watch from the spectators' perspective.
Thank you.
And yeah, at some point it looked like Senadoulis might have been able to actually close up with you defending, but unfortunately he made a mistake, I think on lap 31, and spun around and also damaged his car, and that really sort of threw salt into the wounds for Sandro. But yeah, really strong race, Dion. Well done on the season. Of course, you got your first podium back in Bathurst in a 2.4-hour race at Mount Panorama, and now finishing it off again with a very solid third position. So yeah, I think you can be very proud of the season and proud of the Constructors' Championship that you've won now finally together with Sandro.
Thank you, thank you.
So let's move on to the race winner here, Tim Wenting. 4 victories in succession, I believe, and of course a championship that you already wrapped up back in Suzuka. So I think for a moment in the beginning of the race it looked like the 2 Ferraris were going to escape, and of course I think you then pitted early to try and get yourself out of the battle and do the undercut, and then you suddenly had a very wide Ferrari in front of you at some point towards the latter stages of the race. But yeah, of course, in the end, with the fresher tires and the overspeed you had, you were able to get through on Dion and bring it home for another victory to close off this fifth season here. Season 5 F1 champion and Season 5 GT3 champion. Just how have you experienced this season and this race today, Tim?
Yeah, I've no words for the season. I think it really just all went my way. Um, it was tough, especially today, because wow, Dion, the the defending was incredible. But yeah, I went for the early pit stop. I didn't change tires, uh, but yeah, I really just had to get out of that and race my own race. Uh, yeah, I didn't really expect Dion to. Oh, hold on.
All right, so
Sorry, I'm
yeah,
back. I'm back. Uh, excuse me.
no problem.
But I didn't expect to catch up to Dion again in the end. But yeah, patience is key, and I finally could pass him and went on to win the race.
Yeah, it's a really good season, and yeah, interesting that you actually didn't change tires. I didn't know about that. So your tire age was still pretty much identical then to
Yeah,
Dion's tires at the end.
yeah, they were. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you just went for the undercut just to get yourself out of the traffic and have some clean air.
Yep.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Well, really well done, Tim. And yeah, I mean, of course, you closed up very quickly to Dion's at the end there, and he made it difficult for you to get through. It was definitely very interesting to watch, but yeah. Um, in the end, you made a nice crossover move into the final corner. I think Dion even baited you into a slight mistake at one point, which lost you a couple seconds into the rainy
Yeah,
curve.
the track was quite dirty on the
Yeah,
on the
so
off the racing line there.
I think at that point maybe we thought that Sandro Dulli still had a shot to close down the gap a little bit. But yeah, really well done, Tim, for this season. It's been really impressive how you've ended the season. You've had such a momentum in the last couple of races here, with all those victories in succession. And ultimately winning the championship. So congratulations for the season, Tim. Really, really well done.
Thank you very much.
So now moving on to Sandro Dulis. He's joined the booth as well. I didn't even see the notification, but that's why I switched him early in the night. But of course, Sandro Dulis in second place. Really strong race. Also, the end of the season has been really strong for you, Sandro, with 4 podiums in a row, 3 thirds, and now a second. Unfortunately, just shy of a race win at the end there. I think you were really looking strong at the start of the race, leading the way for, well, the majority of the race, really. And then, of course, pitting earlier, having Tim Wenting, well, going to the lead and then trying to close back up again. Of course, after Tim Wenting did the undercut, after he pitted earlier. And at some point, it looked like the gap was under 10 seconds, and Dion Stahl was defending really well. But then you made a mistake coming out of turn 4 on lap 31. And crashed into the wall. I think you probably had some damage from that, didn't you, as well? I think it was really unfortunate to sort of end the race in that way for you, and that really sort of yeah, was the final nail in the coffin for you having a shot at the victory today. But just talk us through your race, and also, of course, before I end on a negative note, just like I said to Dion, really well done for securing the Constructors' Championship here with Ferrari, because that's been a long time coming for you too, and it's great to see you securing that first place in the Constructors' Championship, and also second place in the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, thank you very much. Definitely means a lot. Means so many years working with Dion together, and the level is just so high. It's difficult to be high up in the championship as a team, but we work well together, and this was a prime opportunity to do well because both of us, I think, were able to adapt really well to the sim, to ACC, to the GT3 cars, and yeah, to end the season with a Constructors' Championship is definitely a good thing, and yeah, a nice thing to take away from the season, have a positive memory of it. It's well, it's my first ever championship if you look at it in this way. Not a drivers' championship, but at least a constructors' championship, and that's first for me even after over a decade of sim racing in SRL. Yeah, today the race, I mean, I think we were always fighting a bit of a losing battle, just knowing that Tim's pace was just that step ahead of everybody else. I think we both, me and Dion, both maximized what we can do. I personally, I was on the, I have to say, I was on the absolute limit for 60 odd minutes. Especially the first half. Like my first stint was. I'm kind of surprised myself I kept it on track because I was on the limit fully. Like there was not an inch I could have, yeah, taken more off the track at some phases. Um, there was nothing more in it, and yeah, the strategy. I'm not sure if it was the right call. We were hesitating if I should cover off Tim's early pit stop to stay ahead of Tim track position wise, but I didn't want to give up track position to everybody else to end up behind people like Thodoris or Samuel. Unfortunately, that strategy didn't really pay off because Thodoris had his disconnect, so he didn't really hold up Tim for much longer. So quite soon after the disconnect, I pitted and I came out about like what 7 seconds behind Tim, or was it a bit more even? And yeah, then Dion did the defensive work up there, and there was a chance. I think I caught up to them by like a second a lap, but like I said, I was on the limit the entire time, and it was just a matter of time until there would be a mistake, and I just made the mistake on lap, I think it was 31 or something, where it just went wide, and I knew I couldn't afford to lift, and I just kept my foot in it, and yeah, I lost the rear end. Tapped the wall, a bit of damage, wasn't significant, but after that it was a bit, yeah, kind of over. Do I think if that mistake would have, if not making the mistake would have won me the race? I don't think so. I think what Dion did up there was incredible work, and it was worth the try. I think in the end still would have come short, just short, but I think we maximized today, and P2 and P3 in the race today, P2 and P3 in the championship, drivers championship, and Ferrari constructor champion. That's what matters, and unfortunately a race win, but I know we maximized today, and I think we maximized the season. That's the positive takeaway.
Yeah, thanks for talking us through a race. But indeed, I could see that you were really on the limit because I saw you run wide a couple of times there in turn 4, where you lost it a couple of laps later on. I saw you sometimes kicking up a bit of sand there on the exit, just dipping 2 wheels into the gravel there. So yeah, I mean, the first stint was really impressive indeed, and the fact you were able to keep on that pace for so long, and well, challenge Tim Wentink, who was so quick in the McLaren. So yeah, indeed, just running a bit too wide and just keeping the throttle in, hoping that you would keep the car in a straight line. Of course, they didn't end that way, but yeah, I think indeed you can be proud of this season, and also pleased with second place here. I think well, we don't know what would have happened if it wasn't for that mistake, but I think you definitely showed that you had a chance of getting close to Tim Wentink today and possibly even getting close to a victory. But nonetheless, over the whole season, I think you can be really pleased with the runner-up position in the championship behind Tim Wentink in the driver standings, and then indeed the constructors championship. It's really nice to see you two actually finally wrapping that up after being teammates for a decade now. It's yeah, really I'm really pleased to see Ferrari in first place in the constructors championship, and a bit of history for SRL, isn't it?
Yeah, thanks a lot. Definitely a bit of a history, bit of history, I think, after so many years of trying and good teamwork to finally walk away with something, a championship, as a team. Yeah, means a lot, and it is a positive takeaway for sure.
All right, so thank you to the top 3 here for joining me here in the booth and talking us through their race and their season. This has been it for round 6 of season 5 of the SRL GT3 Championship here on the Santa Rosa competition. This has been the final round of the calendar year 2025. So the first round in the new year will be on the 3rd of January for the Dutch Grand Prix in the F1 Championship at Zandvoort. So thank you all for this season. Thanks for all the races and the memories in 2025. We'll see you all for the new round in the new year. See you then.